On his maiden 3-day visit to China, Prime Minister Narendra Modi landed in Xi'an, confident that his visit will set a new milestone in the relations between the two ancient civilizations and the largest developing countries in Asia. Breaking protocol, Chinese President Xi Jinping travelled from Beijing to Xi'an, his hometown, to receive Prime Minister Modi, reciprocating the warmth extended to him during his visit to Gujarat in September 2014. Accompanied by Chinese President Xi, Prime Minister Modi visited the Wild Goose Pagoda. In this historic pagoda, Buddhist scriptures and figurines brought from India by Chinese monk Heun Sang have been preserved. The two leaders spent considerable time together in this ancient pagoda. Keeping alive this bond, PM Modi carried a sapling of the Mahabodhi tree, which he gifted to the chief abbot of the monastery. This time, Xi'an replaced the Sabarmati riverfront, where the two leaders walked the talk and were witness to the cultural bonanza. Similarly, the Gujarati folk dancers were replaced by Chinese dancers. The photo op and the personalities were the same, while the landscape was different. Prime Minister Modi commenced his visit to China by offering prayers at the famous Daxingshang temple. Demonstrating his capacity to connect with people, the Prime Minister got down from his car to greet the Chinese people, who were overwhelmed to see him and craved to touch him. In fact, Prime Minister Modi had carved out a niche for himself by joining China's largest microblogging site, Weibo. By the time he left China, he had 1,65,000 followers, which is a rare feat for any foreign leader. The Prime Minister visited the Terracotta Warriors Museum, which houses 8,000 terracotta figurines of soldiers buried about 2,000 years ago. These came to light during excavations in 1974. The Prime Minister was greatly impressed by the extraordinary way in which the museum has been preserved. At the Shanxi Guest House, Prime Minister Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping held restricted-level talks for over 90 minutes. It was followed up with the delegation-level talks, covering a range of issues, including the complex border issue, trade imbalance, strengthening of investment climate, terrorism, and United Nations Security Council reform. The Prime Minister was given a traditional Chinese imperial Tang dynasty-style welcome. Before the two leaders met for the banquet. In Beijing, Prime Minister Modi was received by Chinese Prime Minister Li Keqiang. The two leaders held talks on a wide range of issues, including the common challenges like urbanization and infrastructure development. Both the leaders agreed to move ahead to strengthen mutual trust, manage differences with maturity, and seek solutions to outstanding issues. The Prime Minister stressed that China should reconsider its approach on some of the issues that hold back the two countries from realizing the full potential of the partnership. He urged China to take a strategic and long-term view of the bilateral relations.
On the boundary question, we agreed that we continue to explore a fair, reasonable, and mutual acceptable resolution. We both reiterated our strong commitment to make all efforts to maintain peace and tranquility in the border region.
It was followed by the signing of 24 agreements, which included Protocol for Establishment of Consulates in Chengdu and Chennai, Action Plan between National Railway Administration of China and Indian Railways, Agreement for Cooperation in the Field of Tourism, MOU on establishing India-China Think Tanks Forum. MOU on cooperation in ocean sciences, climate change and cryosphere. MOU on establishment of States Provincial Leaders Forum. MOU between ICCR and Fudan University for establishment of Center for Gandhian and Indian Studies. MOU for the establishment of Yoga College in Kunming. Speaking at Tsinghua University, they announced the decision to extend electronic tourist visas to Chinese nationals. A unique feature of Prime Minister Modi's visit was the first meeting of the India-China State and Provincial Leaders Forum. Gujarat Chief Minister Anandiben Patel and Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis were among those present on the occasion. The forum had chief ministers and mayors both from India and China. Underscoring the point that India and China have not only common social and economic aspirations, but also a shared common spiritual legacy. The Indian and Chinese children performed yoga and Tai Chi in the iconic Temple of Heaven. The Prime Minister took the opportunity here to take a selfie with Chinese Premier Li Keqiang and the children, who were thrilled to have him in their midst. The selfie of both the leaders was dubbed as the most power-packed selfie in history. Pitching for Make in India, Prime Minister Modi asked the top business honchos in Shanghai to come and feel the winds of change in India, assuring the businessmen that India's economic environment has changed. He said that the regulatory regime is much more transparent, responsive and stable. In all, 26 pacts worth $22 billion were signed. Prime Minister Modi inaugurated the first ever Center for Gandhian and Indian Studies at the prestigious Fudan University. He underlined the relevance of Gandhian teachings in tackling the menace of terrorism and in dealing with global warming. Winding up his 3-day visit to China, the Prime Minister reached out to the Indian community in Shanghai. He was given a rousing welcome by 5,000-odd ecstatic Indians, who applauded him at frequent intervals, taking keen interest in every word that the Prime Minister spoke.
मेरे समय की प्रत्येक पल, मेरे शरीर का प्रत्येक कण, सिर्फ और सिर्फ 125 करोड़ देशवासियों के लिए है।
Describing his rapport with Chinese President Xi Jinping as +1, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said he shares a close friendship with the top Chinese leader, and their meeting reflected this affinity and closeness.
चीन और भारत मिलकर के विश्व को एक नया उमंग, नया उत्साह, नई गति देने के लिए सामर्थ्यवान है। और भारत ने ये दायित्व निभाना है, और मैं देशवासियों आपको विश्वास दिलाता हूं, हिंदुस्तान इसके लिए पूरी तैयारी कर रहा है।
The underpinning theme of Prime Minister Modi's visit was that if India and China come together, the two countries, representing 1/3 of mankind, can scale new heights of progress and emerge as a force to reckon with.